Hello, everyone. It is Friday night, and we are here for Explain Yourself. And we have a different Kevin Joseph this week. Last week we had totally Kevin Joseph. This is Matt Kevin Joseph. Hi, Matt. How's it going?
Hey, I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing all right. We also have some pretty awesome guests tonight. We've got Steph Cannon and Matt Knowles from Heirs of Isildur. We got Mario Candelaria from Kilchella. And I have someone else scheduled who's not quite here yet. So we'll cross our fingers that they'll get here. If they don't, well, more time for all of us, right? All right. So I hope everybody had a good week. We will jump into this. We'll go around the horn and we'll do our 30-second elevator pitches, and then we'll swing back around and we'll do a deep dive on the projects, and then we'll see what chaos ensues. So let's give it a start. Matt, well, since you're here, as kind of a guest, let's talk a little bit about your book for a second, and then we can move around the horn and we'll do the elevator pitches for everyone else.
Cool. Yeah, I am working now on a new Kickstarter for Thoughtscape Comics, which is my sci-fi anthology series, sort of in the 2000 AD Dark Horse Presents tradition. And we'll be hitting Kickstarter at the start of January with 2 new issues. So we've got the first issue that we kickstarted in 2021, and then we've got issues 2 and 3. I just got the final art in from Carl Slominski yesterday afternoon. So the last story came in. So yeah, that's what I'm working on. And if folks want to go follow that before it launches, they can go to thoughtscape2023.com, and that'll take you to the Kickstarter page.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, hey, we've got Shawnee's in the house. She says happy Friday. And then our lovely sponsors who make everything possible, the Geek Collective. Thanks, nice. Geek Collective. And Shawnee says, you have big shoes to fill. But I didn't think yes. I didn't think that Kevin had that big a feet, but I don't know, right?
I'll do my best.
Remember, the whole point is to make me look as good as possible, yes, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Well, all right. We are. Let's jump into some 30-second pitches real quick. So let's look at Heirs of Isildur. So who wants to do the pitch for that? Steph, Matt, who drew the short straw?
I don't think it's a short straw at all. I'll take care of it. So Heirs of Isildur, Perilous Prospects Book 1 and 2 is what we have on Kickstarter right now. It's an apocalyptic sci-fi story set in a steampunk world. The catastrophe in the town of Shadow's Haven worsens because of the skies above and the citizens below. This is a 56-page, perfect bound book. It is the logical continuation from the where we're at in our story arc. If you are somebody that's into great characters, great adventures, we like to say we want to make characters that you can relate to and universes you want to escape into, this is the campaign for you. We have 5 days left. We are a striking distance away from a dollar amount stretch goal, a backer count stretch goal, and we have some other things set up after that. But we need your help to get there. We need everybody's help to get there, whether you're a dollar backer or whether you're a super backer. Everybody counts. Everybody's going to help to be able to help everyone to be able to get more stuff, more swag in your bag.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. And we have a very special, this is a very special episode of of Explain Yourself. Yeah, this is how crazy it's going to get tonight. We have a special guest. Mario Candelario does not have a current Kickstarter or crowdfunding project, but he's got this little book that, I don't know, not very many people have heard of except everybody on the freaking planet, I think, at this point, called Kilchella. So, Mario, thanks for being on tonight. Tell us a little bit about Kilchella.
Hey, thanks for having me. Kilchella is a 4-issue series coming out from Scout, and it's about a group of friends who go to a concert I cannot legally name in the Coachella Valley Desert. And what they go there for some fun, and then they end up finding themselves in the middle of a chaotic mass sacrifice ritual from one of their favorite pop stars.
Nice. I'm sure you can't mention the pop star either, right?
She's made up, so yeah, sure. Right before now.
Well, all right. Well, tell you what. Let's jump back into Heirs of Isildur. Let's kind of take a deep dive into that at the moment, since you guys have 5 days left. And let's. All right, Matt. We tried this before. Are you ready, sir?
Yeah, man. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's do this thing.
All right. So let me share the screen here. Share my tab, and boom. Wow, that sounded very, very southern when I just said that. Holy crap! Holy crap! Share my tab over here.
I'm from Arkansas, y'all. It's okay.
All right, so I have a question for you guys. Do you guys want us to play the video? Because our campaign video is actually pretty darn fun.
Well, we can play the video. It's just that the people on the podcast kind of hear a few things and don't really know what's going on. But if you want to, I'm perfectly fine playing it.
I think the podcast people will be okay, because this one, there's actually Steph and I are both in the video. We're talking the whole time. It's not just music.
All right, awesome. Let's do it then.
All right, so let's see if it'll work.
Fingers are crossed.
Maybe it's not going to want to let me share this or play it from the share.
Hit the play button there on the.
Yeah, I'm hitting it, so you might have to play it from your side.
Maybe try a reload of the page and then try it. And if that doesn't work, I will give it a try.
You know what? I'm going to try a reload of the page. And I'm,
all right.
There we go.
There we go. We're back.
It's Matt and Steph from Symmetry Creations.
We're back to unveil the campaign for Heirs of Isildur, The Perilous Prospects, Book 2. Everything has gone up in smoke.
Their lab,
their residence,
even their beloved Shadow's Haven is in peril.
And if you think this is as bad as it's going to get,
you're sadly mistaken. So much has gone on in our puritanical steampunk village since book 1. This issue is a massive 56 pages.
As always, we'll have some killer collectible covers,
some awesome support merch, and
you guessed it,
a few fun surprises!
And a few fun surprises!
We can't wait for you to read The Perilous Prospects, Book 2.
There are some massive twists and turns that you won't see coming.
So on behalf of the whole team,
the Heirs of Isildur,
and the citizens of Shadow's Haven,
we hope you'll check out this next installment of our sci-fi story arc set in a steampunk world.
Before it's too late. Whoop, I wasn't trying to play that again. Nerds.
Nice.
Very nice.
Thank you very much. So yeah, we had a lot of fun making that campaign video. That is, I'm going to refresh the page, because whenever we stop this, we always catch Steph with the most amazing, bizarre screenshot.
Why was it just me? It's you too.
I'm always looking some other direction, and you look like somebody, like you said, somebody just passed gas in the room, and we don't want that. Yeah. You're too classy for that. So people ask her, like, who is this other dude that is in the campaign video? So that's actually the videographer, Michael Palmer from Palmer Productions. We did a campaign video for the first one, and in there, we had that little part where I did a few fun surprises, and for whatever reason, that became like the part that everybody thought was great in the video. So we're like, if we're doing a campaign video for issue 2, we have to make sure that's in there, because we have to do it even more so. And we had been filming for we did parts of videos for 4 different things, and 3 different photo shoots. And so this was 5 hours in, and we were completely just slap happy.
It was like an 8-hour day of filming.
Yeah, that was what happened, because I'm in Florida, Steph's in California. So when we have time to film, is very few and far between. And we actually were able to block out an entire day and had a whole day where we just did everything we could possibly cut. And I don't remember when in the day that was, but I'm sure that was later on in the day, because we were just completely stupid at that point.
Nice. Well, you mentioned the whole team. Who makes up the whole team?
Do you want to tell the team there, Steph, since I've been talking a lot?
Yeah. So our artist is Alessandro Ventura out of Brazil. The colorist is Bruno Hang, so out of Brazil. They actually are friends, and it's funny because they say they're neighbors, but they're on opposite sides of a mountain. But they're like, yeah, we're practically neighbors, which I think is just awesome. But Yeah, there are artists and they're doing an amazing job. It's nice when you have a line artist and a colorist that really gel well together and are familiar with each other's work. And I think that's one of the things about comics that people don't realize a lot of the times is that when you have an artist, line artist, and a colorist that have worked together before previously or know each other's work, it's just seamless. And that's exactly what they are. So we're really fortunate to have these guys working with us on these issues because they're just doing an amazing job.
Yeah,
Nice.
and one of the things that I want to make sure that people know, disclaimer, you're not going to get dinged for the copyright on playing that music. That music is actually one of the songs on one of the 2 albums that we have. So we have 2 metal albums that I'm the main musician on, and we both produced that go along with everything that we do. And the last album we did is called Heirs of Isildur versus Tales from Nocturnia, which is 2 of our IPs. And that's actually a song called Nightmare Scenario, which normally it's melodic or extreme metal where there's heavy guitars and heavy vocals and blast beats and all that. But we have 1 song per album that is completely soundtrack like that, where there's no guitars, no vocals, and it just sounds like it should be in a movie trailer. And so that's why we use it in the video, because it's movie trailer style.
Nice. Yeah, that was actually when I was going through the campaign earlier today. That was one of the things I wanted to ask about was the records and what I don't know. How was the experience of both recording that and then pressing stuff? Do you record a lot just generally? And
so I was in a band many moons ago that did like 5 or 6 CDs. And that was a whole different era of my life. I can tell you, whenever we do a campaign, we never do it small as far as the number of things in it. It's one of those don't try this at home kind of things.
Right.
We're always like doing a single issue, but also doing the trade or releasing a metal album and doing a one-shot comic. This is like one of the very few campaigns that we've done that didn't have some other insanity being done at the same time, where we could focus on this issue for this campaign, which then again, it's also a 56-page perfect bound book. So that's not like it was a 24-page comic.
Yeah.
So we always have to do things big. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, being able to integrate the music into what we do in the comics has always been fun. I'll let Steph tell her side of that, but that was one of the things that really drew her when we first met. I had already started doing the Heirs project earlier on, and that was one of the things that really caught her. Steph, I'll tip it up to you to talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, Heirs of Isildur was originally Matt's creation, and when he and I met, he was working on issue 3. And I had read issues 1 and 2, and I had never seen anything like that in comics, especially independent comics, where you were reading something and it would say, to find out more about this character, go listen to this song. And there was a YouTube link, and you go to the YouTube link, and there'd be a lyric video. And I was just blown away that it was the person who had created the comic was also the person who created the music that went along with it. It wasn't just, hey, here's some cool songs created by these other bands to listen to while you're reading the comic. It was actually his work. And I was fascinated because I had never seen that before in comics. And as I know now, it's been done a few times, but by huge bands, like Coheed and Cambria have done it.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool and unique and original. And I became a fan. And, when Matt and I met, we both were kind of at the same spot in our lives creatively. And so within a few months, we formed Insignature Creations LLC, which is our content creation company. And I jumped on board as kind of a story consultant and editor because he really knew the direction he was taking the first story arc. But eventually over time, it just became a thing where we were co-writing it because, when you're making notes for a series, they only go so far and those are fluid. And fortunately with this second story arc, it's much easier for me to kind of, jump in and play more of a co-writer role with it.
Yeah. And one of the things too is that, like Steph said, when we met, I came from the music world and I came from prose writing and lyric writing, and that couldn't be any more different and opposite from writing comics. Comics is show, don't tell. And in lyric writing and poetry and prose, it's always be as flowery as you can. Take 2 pages of text to talk about somebody walking up a staircase. And in comics, it's like if you have more than 1 panel about a dude walking up a staircase, then you've wasted a whole page. Right. And one of the things when we first met, I was still infantile in understanding the true way to put together comics. I was basically doing illustrated novels with, a lot of text on the page, and it was more hybrid. And Steph, in a very nice way, she would be like, if you want to write a comic, you need to learn how to do comics. Like,
I actually have goals.
Yeah. And, so she came with the comic knowledge, and I had the creative side. It didn't mean she wasn't already being creative on her side as well. She had a lot of one-page stories and short stories and things she had already released. But it just was a good mesh for us to be able to put those two things together. And that's what we have now.
Nice. That's, I remember when I first read you had the one-page story stuff that was,
yeah.
The award-winning one.
Yeah, Boot Hill.
Yeah, totally. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny, you both coming from such opposite directions.
Very,
just content-wise, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it goes to show how simpatico we are, because that doesn't, it's not every day that you can have co-writing is hard for anybody, and it takes a special team. But there are those teams in comics that do it, and they do it well. And we like to say it's just kind of like TV writing. You don't normally have a TV show that's written by one person. It's usually a room full of people writing it together, and you just learn how to do it together.
Yeah, totally.
Nice. Well, so I'm always curious from a co-writing standpoint, because I've only ever co-wrote something with Kevin, and that was its own brand of insanity because it's Kevin and me, but or Kevin and I, sorry. So how can you kind of describe that process? I mean, you said issue 3 was kind of already written. Did it go back through kind of an editorial process that kind of became co-writing? I mean, what did that look like?
So interestingly enough, so the first arc I tried to release as often as I could before we went to Kickstarter. It was an 11-issue arc. And so there was a lot of issues for us to be able to work on. And once, as the first 11 issues came out for that arc, I was very close to the vest. Like, Steph wouldn't even get the issue to even edit it until I was ready to turn it over, period. Like, here's the art, here's everything. And then she could go in and take a look. Once we got to the end of that arc, we went back and with the art that we had, let me say this, we had a lot of limitations with what the art was that we had. One of the artists that I had worked with for the first half of that series actually passed away. And that unfortunately is a refrain that has happened multiple times in the stuff that we've done. So we had very limited art from him. And then the artist that we were working with at the time had a very different style, but we wanted to go back when we did the trade, and we revamped the entire thing and made it as close to a comic. It's still a pretty dense graphic novel even at that point for the Crossroads Conundrum. But we went back and took a new look at the entirety of what was there. And so what you get in the trade paperback version of the Crossroads Conundrum, which we have right here, which is 268 pages, what you get in this is very, very different than what you got in the individual issues. So we felt like it was better. It was a lot more cohesive of a production, because it took 2 years to get all the issues out, but it still wasn't where we wanted to be. And now, if you look at what we have and I'll just pull out one of the random copies of the first issue of the Perilous Prospects. Here's our Metalocalypse homage cover. Now it's completely, a full-on comic. We're where we want to be as far as it being told in comic style, with traditional comic lettering and great artwork. And so that's where we're at now in all of our titles, whether it's this or Misfits Clubhouse for Scout Comics. Everything is being done in a traditional format, and it definitely is where we need to be now. So it took us a long time to get there, but now everything is at that point.
Gotcha. Well, so that's really an interesting way to kind of work at it. I mean, Mario, can you give us a little bit of a window on your process?
In terms of writing or production, or which aspect? Sorry.
Whatever you want to talk about, it's up to you, man.
Yeah, of course. Sorry. So for writing, I like to start out with a nugget of an idea, try to build that out into an outline, get some temporal moments, break down the 3-act structure, And then sometimes I just ignore that outline and just wing it. But yeah, I
In
like
there, man.
try to see what train tracks I have to follow along where we'd like to go. Try to pace out, especially if you're doing a multi-issue structure. Try to pace out where the endings are. So you want to try to end, of course, at a more attractive moment that makes someone want to say, "Hey, I can't wait to see what happens next." Yeah. Honestly, it's kind of like jazz. Sometimes I can't replicate what I did the night before, but I try.
I hear you, man. What about you, Matt? What's your kind of work process look like?
I tend to, was it like 3 or 4 years ago, I sort of stumbled on doing my writing very like super visually. So there's this old Mac program called Comic Life, which was a app intended for you to like take iPhotos and dump them into panels and make your own comics just for fun, which I would do for my kids and stuff. But I started writing in that because you can actually just drop images in and then do balloons and everything. And, the first couple projects I did were full-length graphic novels coming right out of the gate without any experience. And that was a challenge. So on the second one, I was like, well, I'll try it like this. And I, did so I put together like the 200-page document using a bunch of existing art to just kind of like fill in the vibe of the panel more than anything, and then the dialogue to do the pacing. So that's how I started, or kind of have been writing the last few years. And then I take that and translate that into script form and Google Docs or whatever, and pass that along. But I just like it's. For me, like the pacing came so much more naturally. And like Mario was saying, it's like jazz, like doing the dialogue actually in balloons and seeing how it flows and going from panel to panel, helps me immensely. And then if I, being able to just drop images in, I mean, it's really time consuming, I guess, but I'm not in a hurry, I guess, at this point. So, so I'm way ahead. As we, I'm sure we're all waiting on money all the time. So I got plenty of time to kill. So it's way more fun, right? Because it's like you're kind of putting together like this mock-up of a comic. And I do design for my day job. So it's very like a natural flow for me. So so I started doing that, and then I just full scripted. I never like show that to the artist unless I have like a really specific page layout or something. I did that with Carl on the some pages that I just got in for one of our stories in Thoughtscape. But even then I was just like, yeah, if you're amazing, please throw this away if you don't like what I'm saying here. But if this helps, this is what I was envisioning. But only rarely do I ever share any of that stuff, because I want, I want the artist to do what the artist is good at, and it's not what I'm good at. So, that's pretty much it.
And you answered the question, but apparently we have the prime Kevin Joseph in the audience. So, and then he said, "Never mind."
I just answered.
It,
so. Yeah. Yes, so, hey, a good question. Yeah, no, I like there's I've listened to hours and hours of Brian Michael Bendis talking, and I think he talks about one time accidentally like making the decision to send his like kind of mock-up thumbnails along, since he used to draw comics too. And that being a mistake for whatever artist he sent it to. So I've always been very like, no, I'm going to back away and not try to impress upon anything. And I mean, the thing that I'm constantly surprised with, like talking about the co-writing or just the whole process, is how like if you have any kind of sync with an artist or a co-writer, and I've done a little bit of co-writing on some small Thoughtscape stuff, but if you're in sync at all, it's super nice that it's always like, I've never found it to be like a process that takes away from the whole, right? Yeah. It's always better, unless you're really, if you're struggling with an artist, that can be a thing. But like if you're clicking at all, like it's always so much better to pull yourself back, I think, and take as much of yourself out of whatever it is, and then it just seems to like blossom naturally, I guess, to stay on the blossom theme.
Nice callback.
Thank you. Do what I can.
I love the fact that you both kind of brought up jazz, because I personally love that feeling when you're writing something and a character does something that you didn't expect, right? And you're like, where the hell did that come from?
Totally.
Cool, I like it.
Yeah, the thing that happens for us is like we'll have the artist will do something with the character in the way that they draw it, and we're like we had an entire series that came from one panel that our artist drew, and we're like, I wonder what's going on in the head of that character, and we just kept on coming back going, I wonder what's going on in the head of that character. We need to do an entire side arc just for this character, and like and then like for the Perilous Prospects, our art team being in Brazil, we find we have to actually over put things into the script because we want to make sure that we don't take anything for granted as far as the things that without going too far sideways, we did a story in Misfits Clubhouse, and one of them was called Pinball Madness. And our artist is an Indian. We take for granted in the U.S., what pinball machines, go play pinball. He had never physically been in front of a pinball machine in his life. So we had to explain from the ground up what flippers are, what bumpers are, what the point of pinball is. If you get an extra ball, just all these things. And so we always have to try to, encourage them to allow us to give them more information. And like you said, sometimes they take it, sometimes they pick some other things. But with the art team we have right now, there's a couple of characters that we said, hey, we need this type of character over here. And the artist just knocked it out of the park. And we were like, Steph and I were like, this guy is going to become a named character because we need to see more of this dude. And we went back to the artist, like, hey, this guy that you drew in this panel, you need to draw him more because this is the character's name now. And he's going to become something. And he's like, wow, the thing that I drew is actually going to become a part of the story more than just a background character. We're like, yes, how cool is that?
Nice. Well, hey, let's take a look at the project. If you want to scroll through it a little bit,
absolutely.
Let's look at some of the reward tiers. Is there one in particular that you want to point out?
There's definitely some stuff that Steph will talk about here in a little bit. So let's see here. So we have 4 different covers for the campaign. We have our main cover, Equestrian Escape, which is our one of our main characters, Merc, with the blue and purple hair, riding on a 2-headed horse that they found walking around in the wilderness out there. She's tamed the horse, and maybe the horse has tamed her and has her riding it. We have a Stranger Things homage cover. We had a guy named Josh Menendez come in and do a version of the Stranger Things 4 movie poster with our characters. I think he knocked that out of the park. We've also got a cover called Keto's Manga Variant. We have a sister duo from Steph's town of Visalia, California, that they have a manga title that they're going to be debuting, and we felt like they were going to be the perfect team to be able to bring our samurai character that was pulled into our storyline in Perilous Prospects Book 1 to do him in manga style. And they did a really cool thing where they actually put the main characters from the story on the samurai's blade, but in as if they were in a manga story. Then we also have that final cover, which is called Artificial Extravagance, which is done in Midjourney. We thought it was really cool looking to be able to get our steampunk goggles created like that. So we made that a variant cover.
Cool.
So then as far as, let's see here, let's scroll down. So we talk a lot about what happens in issue 1. We have one of the lyric videos to the album right there. Then, hey, if somebody wants to catch up, here are the things that are out there in the story universe prior to this. We designed the story arc so that way you could start with 1 and 2 and have enough information to be able to really understand it and enjoy it. But if you want to dig deeper back in the timeline, you can get these other issues as well.
Cool.
All right, so here's the different covers again. So wearables, we did a foil shirt in the last campaign where it was a black shirt, but that 13 o'clock logo of ours was done in foil. It was a big hit, but it's also something that is, you can't go cut your grass in a foil shirt, and you got to be careful with the way you wash it. It has to be washed inside out, on gentle, and hang dried. And that doesn't work very well for people going to cons and all that. So we decided we were going to do 2 different versions of it this time, screen printed, that are going to be a gray shirt and a steampunk brown shirt. And as you see beside there, we also have socks available. This is the 3rd pair of socks that we've done, and these things are a very big hit with our fans. We had a guy a couple weeks ago that bought some from us at a show, and he put a post up with him wearing his socks, and he's like, these socks are awesome. They're comfortable. They look awesome. And the responses were like a bunch of people showing them wearing our socks at the same time. And we're like, how cool is that? There was like 4 or 5 people wearing in Synergy Creations, Heirs of Isildur, or Misfits Clubhouse socks at the time. So here's the stuff I know Steph wants to talk about. So Steph, I'll let you take it away on the leather work.
So our leather workers that we have make merchandise for us for almost every campaign at this point. GB Leatherworks, they have done massive dragon head masks for us. They've done dice pouches, which honestly could be pouches for almost anything because they're really roomy. They've done little baby dragon head keychains. But for this campaign, they're doing goggles, which are amazing. And I can attest to that because they're the goggles that I wear at every show now because they're the only ones that I can wear for 8, 9, 10, 12-hour shows sometimes. And they are offered in brown, black, or eccentric craftsman, which is dealer's choice. They get to make whatever color or crazy combination of colors, which, believe it or not, with leather, you can do pretty much every color under the sun. And the cool thing about these goggles is on the sides, they have our one of the symbols that's associated with the story, which is the 13 o'clock symbol that you kind of see right there next to the custom leatherwork. That's a symbol that we're using all through the story. And that's going to be emblazoned on the side of the goggles, and they're awesome. So I highly suggest you're not going to get custom made leather goggles pretty much anywhere else unless you wander to like a Ren fair or something. I don't know. These guys are crazy. They're good friends of ours. We've done a lot of shows with them. There's a show that happens twice a year in Mount Dora, Florida called Renegers Steampunk Days. And it's a lot of fun. It's a steampunk show that they do. And we're always next to each other. The creators of the show know now to just put us together. But it's so fun because you feel like you've gone back in time because they're like blacksmiths. They're like next to us hammering out things while they're making all these leather goods. They're amazing. But aside from the goggles, we also have a set of Christmas ornaments. So it's a set of 3. It is the 13 o'clock symbol. It's the little dragon head. And it's a pair of little mini goggles. They're adorable and amazing. And so that's, I think it's an amazing deal because you get 3, you don't miss a set of 3. So I'm really excited about those because I really love all of them and can attest to, especially the goggles, that I can wear them on my head all day and not feel like I'm dying.
Nice.
Very nice.
Well, cool. So I think you guys have 5 days remaining on the...
Yep,
Yes.
5 days remaining. We are done on Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern.
And excellent. Looks like you're funded for sure. That's awesome. And you're doing well. So excellent. Good work.
Yeah, thank you.
Congrats.
We appreciate it. We subscribe to the theory of that you can either ask for what you need in the campaign or what you think you can get in the first 2 days. And we always go with what we think we can get in the first 2 days so that way we can get on to stretch goals and we can start giving back and start adding things on. The backers have already added 3 trading cards that we'll make that are going to go into every physical backers pack. That manga series that we talked about earlier, we get to be the people that are privileged to be able to debut the PDF version of that ash can in this campaign. So every digital and physical backer is going to get that ash can, which we think is really cool because a lot of people have PDFs that they add into their campaigns, but we can add something special like that. This is literally the first release for these girls. So we were really, really pumped for them that we have the opportunity to be able to reveal that to everyone. Like I said, we have a stretch goal at 6,800. We have a backer goal at 150, and then we have a couple of other stretch goals that we can hopefully reach because we have a bunch of fun other things that we'd like to get to in this campaign as well.
Awesome. Well, all right. I've got the link there. Do you guys have a shorter link that we can share with viewers?
Absolutely. It's I put it in the private chat. It is tinyurl.com/heirs, HEIRS TPP2.
Awesome. Here, I'll put that on I'll do a new quick banner, and we will put that on the banner as well.
I was going to say really quick, too, I'm seeing in the Comics Geek Collective saying Visalia, California is their hometown. That's where I live. So I'm not sure how we never knew that before now, or maybe we did. I feel like I would remember that. So I'm kind of tripping out now because I'm like, how do we never know this? We'll have to talk and figure that out.
And we'd be remiss if we didn't at least mention that we are also in an anthology that just launched tonight, like 2.5 hours ago. The Holiday Spirits 2 anthology from Orange Cone Productions just launched on Kickstarter. We have a story in there with Kurt Belcher and Jerome Gagnon and Alan Emanuel. It's called Raising Spirits. So it's a holiday horror anthology. So it's all horror stories based around holiday times. And our story is called Raising Spirits, Razing, about a little town that is ignominious or ignominious, whatever you say, for every year on Christmas Eve, there's a murder that happens, and nobody can figure out why these killings keep happening, but or who's doing it. But our story kind of explores that. So that's something that literally just launched on Kickstarter 2.5 hours ago from Orange Cone's production. Nice. That's Holiday Spirits 2.
That's our friend Travis Gibb at Orange Cone Productions. So definitely check that out.
Sir.
Awesome.
Yes, sir.
Well, hey, we're going to swing a little bit around and let's talk to Mario about this little book called Kilchella that I hear absolutely everyone talking about. What can you tell us about it, sir?
Hey, yeah. So it's a fun slasher story, honestly. I would say it's hipsters. It's kind of more Gen Z, but yeah, just it's a bunch of friends try to go out to the desert to have fun at a festival, and they don't know that their favorite pop star has gone crazy, and she's got her craziest fans out there to do a human sacrifice ritual for her, and it just gets weirder from there.
Nice. Well, can you tell us about the team on it? And I seem to remember you've got some pretty awesome alternate covers too for it.
Yeah. So I've actually never shared my screen on here, so let me see if I can do that. All right.
Cross your fingers, everyone. Here we go.
Let's see if this works here. Share screen. Do not show these tips again. Yes. All right. I have two screens, so let's see. Oh, no, I want open preferences and all that. Sorry, I should have been more prepared. But I'll talk about the team while I'm waiting for that. So, we have Serge Acuna and Kath Lobo did the art for the first issue. And then, unfortunately, due to some external issues, they had to back out. So we brought on Lataro Havlovich and Leslie Atlansky for issues 2, 3, 4, and they have just been phenomenal. All the issues all feature covers from Serge, 1, 2, 3, and 4, as well as I got a bunch of my friends to do variants. So for issue 1, I got Tula Lotte, who did the exclusive retailer variant, and then one of my friends who's how do I say this? She is a concept artist for films in Italy, Carol Basile. She did a pretty cool cover that's a Scout exclusive for number 1. And for issue 2, I got Fellhound, who did the retailer variant, as well as, he's going to hate me for butchering his name, but Felipe Cunha, who did the Scout exclusive. And I think I can say, we haven't shown the issue 3 covers yet in full, but I got Luana Vecchio from Image's Lovesick, a fabulous artist from Italy as well. She did the variants for number 3. So
nice.
All right. Awesome.
Let's see. Yeah, it kind of wants me to quit Chrome and reopen it. So I wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
I wouldn't do that. Plus, it sounds like a jet engine is about to take off on my MacBook. So I apologize. But yeah, I mean, I dropped the link. If you can, please share.
This one here on the front.
In our private chat that no one else can see on there. Yeah, it's a 15-second trailer that we made for issue 1.
Okay, give me just a second, and I will pull that up.
Thank you so much.
See if I can figure out how to do it. Let's see. I am. All right.
Before you guys were talking about like the process and just creating guides for artists, especially people you don't know, I created a whole lookbook and Bible for this book, just doing samples of what festivals look like, what wardrobe is, just going back a few years, just to help the artist get a feel for not just, styles, wardrobe, but also stages and just the whole production of, what a trendy festival could look like.
Nice.
All right. I think I have it here. So let's try the share and we can run through this thing and see what I can get done here. We will share a Chrome tab and we'll share that one from your Twitter. All right. It should be on the screen. Everybody good?
Yeah.
All right. I don't know how loud this is going to be, so here we go. This is the trailer for the first issue of Kilchella. And just because I know it's not true, but this is an Explain Yourself exclusive. I'm sorry. Okay.
All right.
Nice. I will
Sweet.
stop sharing that. That looks really cool. And for those of you listening on the podcast, you got some cool music out of it. So there you go. All right. All
Thank
right.
you. Yeah, I have a subscription to some music like licensable things. So I pay like $20 a month, and I just scoured trying to find something that felt cool, that hit the vibe. And I did a little bit of engineering. I'm not too good at it, but I did a little bit to try to get some good pacing on there, so it met what I needed.
Well, nice. So when you said you did a full story Bible, did you say mood board too, and all that stuff?
Yeah, it all went into there. I mean, just breaking down what I wanted the stage to look like, the interiors of the stage, ideas for wardrobe, and even the lead character Topanga Cornell, going over what her wardrobe could look like, trying to get the horns right, looking at her followers, which we call her fawns, and their masks and their seafoam green tops and sand color bottoms. I mean, just I put a little bit of time into it, more than I normally do.
So was this originally, were you building all this out for a Kickstarter, or were you going to pitch this originally? Were you originally going to pitch it to Scout? I mean, what was kind of the development process?
Yeah, no, I wanted to take a big swing on this. This is something that I just said, hey, you know what? I can try to put this on Kickstarter. Sure, I can just try to bring it to a publisher and see what happens. So yeah, I put all my eggs in this basket, and I hope it'll work out for everyone.
Cool. That's awesome. Well, excellent. Let's see. I mean, I haven't been checking the comments because I've been paying too much attention. So. It's me, Joey Galvez from the Geek Collective.
Yes,
Joey.
yeah, we've definitely talked about it. It's hard when it's like, I don't know if it was Joey or if it was somebody else. I thought, man, how many creatives are from my city? That's amazing. But yeah, we've definitely talked about it.
Nice. Well, tell you what, Matt, let's talk a little bit about Thoughtscape, if that sounds all right to you. I mean, I know we mentioned we did a kind of the quick and dirty pitch for it, but let's dive a little deeper into it and see kind of what's going on with your thoughts.
Yes. Yes. I guess let's see. Let's see if I've got something I can send you here or not. But I guess you can if you want to. No big deal. But where do I actually leave my comments?
You can do private chat.
Private chat. There we go. Thank you. Yeah, there's the Kickstarter.
I have never met a pun that I didn't like, so there you go.
That's good. I'm all about the puns. As a dad, I feel like I have to be pun heavy. So at least I appreciate it. I don't know if they do, but yeah. So let's see. So Thoughtscape, we had a really good reaction to the first Kickstarter. People seemed to dig it. And I had, as I plotted out this whole project initially, like I didn't know what I was going to do with it. I was just kind of getting a little fed up with sending in pitches and not hearing back and all that kind of jazz. So I wanted to just kind of, and I was feeling, like I said, I started off with 2 full-length graphic novels right out of the gate. I didn't do the thing that you should do, which is start with short stories. And so, so I kind of went backwards.
Me too.
But did you? Okay, good. I'm not alone. So I basically thought, and I was reading a bunch of 2000 AD. This is 3 or 4 years ago now, like old stuff, Rogue Trooper, and all this stuff all this stuff when I was a kid in the 80s. I was like, ooh, that looks a little scary, a little edgy, and it was not superhero stuff, so I didn't pick it up. And anyway, that got me thinking, oh, I could just like kind of compile all these things somehow maybe. And then I just realized as I was looking at all the stories, they were all kind of taking place in the same world, and or at least it wouldn't be a stretch to have them be taking place in the same world. I was under the influence of RoboCop, as I have been for 40 years now or whatever. I was throwing like the same company name, for example, into things, and I was like, oh, what if this is just all one thing, but it could be anything I wanted it to be. And so basically Thoughtscape is sort of an umbrella for any project, any story I want to do that can kind of fall into this zone. I just sort of make it fit. And yeah, so that's, so out of the gate, I wanted to have like about 4 issues worth of content. And the issues go from 48 pages to 60 pages, just varying. The first one, and my plan is for them to all be perfect bound. They're on like uncoated, sort of old school stock. I forget what the paperweight is. It's a 70 pound.
70. Normally, when we did ours, it was 70.
Okay, yeah. So nice uncoated 70 pound stock. It's nice and comfortable. The covers are it's just got like I wanted to go for like the old school feel, as much as I could, sort of the late 80s DC pre-Vertigo vibe. And I like have for the most part lucked out with like a bunch of amazing artists. There's 2 ongoing stories in the series, so there's a chapter of those in each issue, and then 2 standalone stories in each issue. And then I do sort of the Starship Troopers-y RoboCopy ads that kind of break up each story, or between the stories. Get killer covers as much as I can, and just put it all together. So yeah, I've got issue 1, in stock from the first Kickstarter still. And my hope with this is to be able to print 2 and 3 and get them out to people, and hopefully get some new we had like 400 backers the first time. So I'm hoping that we can grow that a little bit and hit this goal. And my hope with hitting 1 through 3 at the first part of the year is then we can go to issue 4 at the end of the year. And then maybe it's a lot of things have to happen, but if all that happens, hopefully get on some kind of regular schedule where it's like a couple issues a year, or the ideal would be, I had envisioned it as like a quarterly thing, but that yes, indie comics is always tempering my expectations. So it's and I've got I don't know. I've written ahead by too many years to even count at this point. So it's like, hopefully I'll get some of all these stories out at some point. But the artist, I guess the art we're seeing here, Carl Solminski on the left-hand image there, Dave Law on the middle image, and Desalina Fletcher on the right-hand thing with the possums and the girl looking over her shoulder. So yeah, it's just constantly fun to be working with new folks, as well as like getting into a rhythm with Dave and Carl, who do the ongoing stories. I've also done a couple of stories with Tyrell Cannon, who did Beef Bros with Audrey Sitterson, and there's a story actually with that Jacob Edgar, who's now got a book with Bendis that just came out called The Ones. That story's in issue 2, and Leslie actually colored that story. Leslie Atlansky had worked on some Jacob stuff before, so she did that. And Leslie is a Portland person, so we met a few years now, I guess, back at Rose City. So yeah, it's super fun and hopefully weird in a good way, and challenging in some ways. So yeah.
Okay, I got a deep nerd question for you.
Yeah.
So everybody else on here is way too young to know what I'm talking about, but you might get this. So
I probably will.
when you said DC pre-Vertigo, do you mean Baxter paper or the normal paper?
Well, so I did some deep diving on Baxter paper versus normal. It's not quite Baxter paper, is my understanding, but it's not newsprint. So it's not. It's what I probably have one around here. Like, I don't know, Cosmic Odyssey. Did you read Cosmic Odyssey?
Yep, Cosmic Odyssey. Yep.
So it's like that was the vibe I wanted. Was that sort of like prestige, perfect bound book. With just really killer paper. But I had the Question and Sandman and stuff, that was sort of the goal. So Baxter paper, if I remember right. So I'm way into Michel Fiffe and Copra, and if you know who that is, but he's a 80s comics aficionado, as well as doing Copra, which is an amazing book. So he had this whole, I've been trying to figure out what Baxter paper actually is and stuff for a little while. So but yes, way nerdy stuff, but
yes, definitely. So back in the day, DC released some, their best-selling book. So this tells you how long ago it was. New Titans, right?
Yes.
They released it, and I believe it was Legion of Superheroes on fancy Baxter paper, and then they had the regular series, in just regular old newsprint, that would go out. But yeah, that's pretty deep nerdery stuff there.
It is. It's fun.
You have my respect, sir.
Thank you. I'm glad it matters to one other person on the planet aside from me. I mean, I think that's one of the great things about like the Kickstarter stuff, is being able to just control your materials and everything. It's lets you, I don't know, like I guess if you're a control freak, which it feels like most of the comics people I have met tend to be to some degree, it's nice to no shade, because I am definitely one myself. It's nice to be able to just call all the shots. It's stressful. Especially like the first time. But Print Ninja was who I went with for printing Thoughtscape, and they were super helpful. They were double checking lots of stuff for me, super patient, answered all my questions. And so like with a good partner, whoever it might be, like it's totally cool to be able to, I don't know, just kind of look at all your options. And there's, I just found somebody, speaking of paper, that prints like uncoated, cheap posters.
Cool.
Rather than having everything be like a really expensive, pretty kind of solid print. If you want to do something cheaper, you can fold these and stuff, and it's like the old ones I used to pick up in the comic store for free. So it's fun to try that stuff out and nerd out on it, I guess.
I don't know if you'll remember this, but Wonder Man, with Jeff Johnson art, back in, what was that? That was 90s. Came with a bound-in poster that was, just one of those cheap posters, but it's just this awesome Jeff Johnson poster that I actually, had hanging up on my wall back in the day. So yeah.
Yep. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I still have my like when the president fires Cap poster from the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
With the shield and the gloves. That was like I've got it right by my desk. It's like, that's my model. So yeah.
Nice. Well, all right, everyone. I'm gonna check the comments to see if we've got any other questions, but it looks like we're kind of winding down a little bit. So tell you what, why don't we run back around? We'll do the quick 30-second pitch for each of the series, and then Matt and I will go totally off the rails and do our previous campaigns and stuff. And if you want to hang around, definitely feel free. I think Will needs a comic book nostalgia podcast. Hey, I'm already on one, dude. It's a Green Lantern one. Seriously, Sector 2814. I do it every week.
Nice.
And we're actually that's Capes and Lunatics, and I have a bunch of friends. We're actually going to talk to Jeff Johnson about his Wonder Man work, I think,
Oh, very cool.
later this month, which is really kind of cool, I think, because I'm a huge fan of his work and everything. But
Hey, Will, so I got a quick question, Will. I got a question for
right.
Mario. So Mario, I see that your number one is supposed to drop this coming Wednesday on November 9th. So how excited are you to be able to walk into a comic book store and go over to the shelf and pull one of those number ones off the shelf and then walk over to the counter and be like, I want to buy this. This is mine.
That's right.
Are you going to go do that? Are you excited about that? Do you have any plans for going to an LCS on release day or?
Yeah, that's actually a pretty baller move right there. I think just to slap it down and say, "Hey, I did this." But,
I know the writer.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to my local shop, Brave New Worlds in Willow Grove, PA, and just pick it for a bit.
Awesome, man.
Nice.
That's awesome. Yeah, being able to go into a store and see that issue 1, first issue of your series out there, that's got to be going to be an awesome thing for you.
Yeah,
absolutely. That'll be cool. That will be awesome. You're gonna have to get back with us and let us know how it feels, man. Just like this is the yes.
I'm actually really shy in real life, despite my internet persona. So I don't know how much bravado I'll do, but I'm sure my mom will go and tell every single store in the New York area, "Hey, my son wrote this."
Yes, that would be my mom as well.
Oh, man.
Well, all right. Hey, thanks again, everyone, for being on tonight. And
Thank you.
We are getting ready to do the part of the show where we're going to go back over any projects that are still running, and just point them out so that people can go and take a look at them. So you are welcome to stay and hang out with us. But if you're on the East Coast and it's really super late, and you might be getting up for a con in the morning at say 6.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody like that.
Yeah, I think some of us might. I'm on the West Coast, and I'm like, this is kind of late.
Hey, there's some of us that braved it out to be on this podcast or this live stream. There's some of us that are not on this show tonight that are probably going to be at the table right beside me tomorrow. I'm not going to name any names. Yes, I am. It might be Kevin Johnson, but might be right beside me tomorrow, and he's not on the show tonight. What's up, Kevin?
Give him crap tomorrow from
Some
all
people
of
need
us.
more than 3 hours of sleep a night, Matt. Okay, so.
Well, and if you are on the West Coast and you need to go maybe eat, or if it's getting late for various reasons, please feel free to jump off. And thanks again for being here. And what I will do is I'm going to pull up our list, and I think Matt and I will jump into it. So thanks again for being here, everyone. And if you're going to hang with us, great to have you. And if not, have a good night.
Well, hey, thanks a lot, everybody.
Thanks for having us on.
Thanks a lot for having us on. Please make sure you guys go up to tinyurl.com/airs TPP2 for Heirs of Isildur, The Perilous Prospects, Book 2. This is a big project for Steph and I. A lot of fun merchandise, great story, something we think you guys will really all be into. We finish on Thursday at 9:00, and we would really love to have every single one of you guys in there, even if you're just a $1 backer. That's going to help everybody else to be able to get some great stuff that we're going to be able to give back to you. Also, don't forget to go up and look at Holiday Spirits Volume 2 that Steph and I have a story in. Really appreciate you guys for having us on this show, and we hope you guys have a great rest of the show.
Thanks,
all right,
guys.
Thanks.
Have a good night.
See you later.
Okay. Mario, if you want to, okay. All right, so it's just you and me, man.
Cool.
Yeah, I love paper too. I'm weird. I know I'm weird.
we were raised with it. It's just important to us.
That's right.
Yes.
Well, all right. Let's see what we've got going on here. I'm going to mention this before. As a child of a certain decade,
yes.
You probably remember the Marvel Masterpieces painted by Joe Jusko. There's a Kickstarter for that right now. He's putting out a book. Yeah. and it's already up to like 300,000. It's
Oh
insane.
wow. Okay.
Yeah. But Joe Jusko's Art of the 1992 Marvel Masterpieces is running till like December 1st. And I only
Wow,
bring that
okay.
up right now because I thought you would appreciate it. So.
Yes, I will
I'm
go
already
check that out.
I'm already a backer.
Sweet.
For
Yeah.
more than I couldn't afford to back the super high levels, so but I'm backing it definitely.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about you're very welcome, Joey. Let me show that one. There we go. Thanks, Joey. Let's see what we've got on the list here. I'm gonna go to our banners. Let's see. We have Journey to. I'm sorry, Moana. I know I'm mispronouncing this, but I am in truth an ignorant hick from the sticks, so please forgive me. Journey to Akua, an all ages hardcover fantasy adventure, which is similar to her. I think it's a continuation of her adventures in Nokia, and I can't remember. I'm mispronouncing that, but it's a beautiful book, and you should definitely check it out. And I think I have a link to it somewhere. Okay, I don't have a link to it. Check it out. And Journey to Akua, Ikua, and you should be able to find it on Kickstarter. We also had, not too long ago, we had Mr. J.M. DeMatteis on the show, and he's launching four brand new series. And whoever, once you back all four, because you have to back all four, but the people that back all four, or the trade that collects all four, will get to vote to see which of those series is going to continue on to have its full 5 issues first. I believe all series are going to continue eventually, but if you do get all 4 of them, then you're going to be able to vote to see which one is going to be the first one to get the full 5 issue treatment. And I've got it. Let's see. That is Spellbound Comics, or here's the Kickstarter link as well. But you can also get to it through spellboundcomics.com.
Yeah. Speaking of the old days.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. One of the best from the old times.
So,
it's awesome. He's still going.
So this is insane. I was on with one of the Capes and Lunatics when we were doing an interview with Mr. J.M. DeMatteis. And long ago, I read a story that I did not even know that was by him. An issue of Marvel Team Up number 123.
Okay.
I must have read this in the 80s. I still remember it, and I'm like, oh yeah. I was like, it's one of my top 20 comics I would take to a desert island. Because I still remember it, and it's impactful. And I'm like, yeah, I remember this story. It had this person as the villain. He goes, no, it actually had this person as the villain. I'm like, you're absolutely right. How in God's name do you remember a story you wrote for Marvel Team Up?
Yep.
40 years ago. I mean, I remember it because I read it at just the right time. But I mean, he's an amazing writer.
Yeah.
For a lot of reasons, and go check out Marvel Team Up number 123 because it's a really cool story. But
Nice.
There you go. All right, we've got Gage and the Dragon's Tears. Gage and the Dragon's Tear number 4, which is still running, and I believe if I take a look at it, it is going until November 10th. If we look at the Multiverse, the 4 issues for him, that's also going till the 10th. And Journey to Akua is going to November 11th. But Gage of the Dragon's Tear, it's fantasy with a thief that's going to steal the dragon's tear. And definitely take a look at it. What have we got? Oh, we had, not too long ago, we had a Decay. Numbers 1 through 3 by Anthony Stokes, which is a really amazing looking series. I've got where is it? There's that one. There we go. Yeah, Decay. That's the one. Ha! I'll work this newfangled technology. But it's kind of an interesting take on Frankenstein, and maybe bringing someone back from the dead. might not be a good idea. I'm just saying, but you should check it out and find out why it might not be a good idea. And I have to shout out to totally Kevin Joseph, not actually Kevin Joseph, but totally Kevin Joseph. Matta Sorcier is doing Sacrimony numbers 1 through 5. It's a fantasy about love, life, and death in no particular order, and it is. I'm gonna gush on you a little bit, Matta. It is a beautiful book, and it is fantasy unlike the standard fantasy. It's got a lot of different characters that you wouldn't expect to see in fantasy, and it's a really interesting book that you should be backing. And I believe that she only has how many days left? She goes until November 18th, so she still has a couple of weeks left on that one.
Nice.
Let's see. Then last week we had Worlds Away. Let me find that one. There we go. Worlds Away. We've got science fiction action series. It's got some gorgeous art. Check it out. I believe it ends in November 11th as well. Man, that's going to be an expensive day for me. All right.
Yeah.
And then we have Found #1. It's a space fantasy comic. It involves a, hang on a second, I got private chat here. Oh, okay, never mind. Got some comments. Thank you. Explain yourself for heaven. You are very welcome, Matt. Thanks for being on here. And that's a cool idea. Okay, I don't know what idea you're talking about.
Oh, I think that popped up when you were talking about the Demetrius.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, gotcha.
Like pick which one goes. Yeah.
Pick which one. Yeah, it's not a lot of writers could pull that off, but I'm 100% certain that he can. So
yeah,
that's pretty awesome. All right, so we've got Worlds Away. Okay, we need Found #1, which is right here. Yes, there we go. And so it's space fantasy dealing with found family, and looks really great. You should definitely check it out too. All right, I don't think I have banners for these, but these are some friends of the show. Slice of Life numbers 1 through 3, which is a queer webtoon with an anime twist by Kat Calamia and my Excel-loving buddy, Phil Falco. Excel, that's right. We love Excel. But definitely check out Slice of Life. It goes until November 22nd. And then we've got The Polar Paradox, which actually ends tonight. I think that's by Frank Martin. So actually, you know what? I'm going to click on that because it actually just ended. So,
wow.
Hey, it was successfully funded. Congrats, Frank. Great job. I can't talk about that one now. So, all right. And then finally, we've got, I think it's fine. No, we got two other ones. The Game, numbers 1 through 3 by friend of the show, Charlie Stickney, an all-around great guy. And Connor Hughes is on the art. It is the first issue was gorgeous. I am sure the second issue will be as well. And of course, with Charlie Stickney writing it, you're going to get an amazing story. So definitely check out The Game. It ends on November 16th, it looks like. All right, let me run through here. There's this guy. I don't know how successful. I don't really think he's that successful at Kickstarter. I mean, he's only had a 6-figure Kickstarter. But Pat Shand has a new book, Mixed MMA, Mixed Magical Martial Arts. Definitely check it out. Pat Shand is an awesome dude, and he is killing it on Kickstarter. So it ends on November 18th. And I mentioned the Joe Jusko's Art of the 1992 Marvel Masterpieces, which just hit me right in the right spot because, yeah, darn it. But I just found out about this one, and I think it just launched today. The Rocketeer and Dave Stevens. It's a documentary film. Have you seen anything about this one yet?
No.
So it's a documentary film. I think the trailer's on YouTube, but they launched the project so that you can get a Blu-ray of it, but it's also going to come with a comic. And I am a huge fan of Dave Stevens and the Rocketeer. And also, it looks like Adam Hughes will be doing a story.
Oh.
First time that he's ever actually drawn the Rocketeer, and it'll come with a comic, so you can get the documentary that comes with a comic. There's his story that's actually by the team that did the Rocketeer movie, the script writers.
Okay. Yeah.
And then there's going to be another story in it, I think, and I can't remember the other artist. But then there's also there's an Adam Hughes cover, and then I think that there is a Jay Lee alternate cover that you can get. So it's got a lot of
nice,
super awesome, amazing, artists and writers associated with it. Plus, it's Dave Stevens and the Rocketeer, which is definitely hits me pretty close to the same place that Joe Jusko's Art of the 1992 Marvel Masterpieces hits me.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, is there anything on Kickstarter that you're looking at right now that we can draw some attention to?
I feel like you kind of covered what I had been looking at as well. Boy, I do have. There was one not on Kickstarter, but on Crowdfunder.
Oh, cool.
Let me pull up. Sorry, that just occurred to me.
No problem.
Let's see.
Oh, and people should go sign up for Thoughtscape Comics numbers 1 through 3 on Kickstarter.
Yes. Definitely. Yeah, I would love to be able to hit 150 followers, I guess we call them at this point. On the coming soon page. That would give me some hope that all of us creators need. And yeah, I mean, I do have I hopefully as I was talking earlier, praised my co-creators enough. But the art so I've had issue 2 put together for a while. We tried to do that on Zoop and it didn't quite happen. So that's all ready to go. And I was putting 3 together today when I got that final story in, or I was, I work way ahead on these things. So I was getting Carl's story in there, and all the art in this book is in issue 3. I mean, all the art's been very special to me, but like the 4 stories we've got going in this are all kind of hitting these like edgy points in the stories as well. And the art is really like pushing some stuff. It's super, just amazing style, amazing colors. Everything is super vibrant. And it's sort of like a weird indie comic pop art amalgam this issue, issue 3. Nice. So I'm super excited about it. And yeah, I've also got a bunch of cool commissions and stuff lined up as rewards, as well as some other books available from my sort of Thoughtscape advisory board as add-on rewards. So there's going to be a ton of cool stuff. So people should definitely check it out. I just private messaged you the link to on Crowdfunder, The Baboon, The Temple of Eternal Life by Jamie Jones. Jamie's an artist I came across a while ago. And he's amazing. His artwork is just absolutely incredible. And really in like a classic cartooning style. But yeah, super fun. I'm hoping at some point I get to pull him into Thoughtscape for a story.
It's got a real Eisner-esque feel to it from the look of it, which is pretty darn. I mean, the compliments don't come much higher than that.
Yes, yeah, he is super. His art is super compelling. Crowdfunder's a newish platform, so I mean, I don't think it's the campaign's halfway there. Any campaign on these newer platforms is definitely a little bit of a struggle. just to get people to get their information onto a new service.
Yep.
I ran into this with the Zoop campaign. Jamie's running into it a little bit with the crowdfunder stuff. Unless you've just really got a name, it's tough. And so I'd really encourage folks to go back this. I think you'll get an amazing book by a really great artist. And also the more platforms we've got, as we see happening to us social media wise, just in case, the better. So I mean, and crowdfunder, I backed this. It's the first thing or second thing, I guess I backed on crowdfunder, but I hadn't saved my credentials. So I had to do it again. But super easy to use. It will just take a few minutes. And this project definitely seems worth it. And then you'll be in the system and you can back some other stuff. So I would strongly encourage that.
Yeah, I'd actually forgotten that you had tried Thoughtscape 2 on Zoop.
Yeah.
Which was, I mean, I understand huge risk, but it does help grow, the environment for us to be able to crowdfund. The more and the stronger alternatives that we have to Kickstarter is better for the entire ecosystem. It's so. Thanks for that.
Oh, yes.
Very much.
Nice. Good to hear. It's good to try at least.
Yeah.
So
well, and I'm trying to think. I mean, Indiegogo has traditionally been an additional place that we could go. We can talk about it later.
Yeah.
So Kickstarter of course is the 800-pound gorilla. But nowadays we have Zoop. Like you've tried Zoop. We've got Crowdfunder. BackerKit has their own crowdfunder. I'm trying to think. Is there another one? I know that.
I feel like there is one more that's come out pretty recently, but and
I can't think. I'm totally blanking on it. So, but hey, the better all crowdfunding does for us, the better it is for everyone. So yeah, definitely go check that out at Crowdfunder and tell them Matt sent you.
Yes.
Or tell them Explain Yourself sent you. That'll work. Well, hey Matt, thanks for hanging out.
Thanks for having me.
That slacker Kevin Joseph, we'll talk to him next week and give him some crap for. Hopefully he's having a good convention. I think he told me where he was going. 1 second. Looks like let's see. It doesn't say. Oh well, but there is I believe it's in Orlando. So if you're in Orlando or near Orlando, go check it out and say hi to Kevin, say hi to Matt. Matt's going to be there as well. So not this Matt, the other Matt.
Too long a trip for me.
Especially since it's tomorrow morning and you're in Portland. So
it'd be tough to make that.
That would be tough. Yeah, definitely. Well, all right. Well, hey, thank you again, sir. And I think we're about to the end. Thanks everybody who's stuck with us tonight. And I'll check the comments one last time. Yep. Thanks, Shawnee, Joey, and Kevin Joseph, dude.
Yes. Yeah, Joey, thanks for your support on Thoughtscape stuff. It's been really great.
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, check out the Geek Collective and definitely go to Kickstarter and go to kickstarter.com/MattMLPDX/Thoughtscape-Comics-1-3 and sign up to be notified when Thoughtscape Comics 1 through 3 go live on Kickstarter in January at some point.
Yeah, January. I'm going to try the second. We'll see see how it goes launching on a holiday, if that makes a difference or not. Either way.
Gotcha.
I didn't realize it was the observed holiday, but we'll give it a shot.
And it looks like, hey, happy Friday, Shawnee, to you too. And yeah, that's right. We get an extra hour. We get it back.
Oh,
And then
that's right.
hopefully we never have to deal with the hated time change ever again. We hates it, Precious. We hates it. Well, all right. Thanks again, everyone. And we will see you next week. Good night.
All right, bye.